Hello everyone, Monty here. Today I'm going to show you how I make my fruit salad and how I'm able to keep it all week long fresh in plastic storage containers in the refrigerator by squirting fresh lemon juice all over it. Now a lot of my friends and my mom said they tried doing it and it didn't work for them, so they watched how I did it and said, oh, you really need to show people how to do this because I listened to you, I squirted lemon juice all over it and my fruit never looks as beautiful as yours. So there's a technique I developed only through trial and error that helps me keep my fruit so beautiful. It has not just to do with using the lemon juice, but how I use the lemon juice and how I make sure all the fruit gets the lemon juice on it without mixing it up. Because when you mix it, which most people were doing, you're bruising the fruit, and then like the blackberries, if they're a little soft, will stain, and the strawberries will stain your other fruit, like your orange and your kiwi, and it gets mushy, and it just doesn't, even if you put the lemon juice on, it doesn't stay as fresh as if you don't mix it up. So, first I'll tell you about the types of fruits that I use. What I do is, when I get home from the supermarket, I first peel, because it takes the longest time, my mandarin orange, and I put it in a bowl. Then I rinse off, yes, for all you hygiene people. I always have people like send me notes, did you rinse that fruit really well? Yes, I did. Thank you very much. I rinsed my fruit really well. So I rinse it all and I put it in like little paper towels and lining the bowls to absorb the moisture. So then I rinse my blueberries and my blackberries next. Get a little paper towel after I rinse them well. Don't need to rinse the kiwi because you're taking the skin off, right? And I put them in a bowl. Usually this is about 5 or 6 small mandarin oranges. I'm gonna go backtrack here for a second. This is about 1.5 pints of organic blueberries. A big pint, not the little tiny ones, right? Like the big pint size. 1.5 pints. About 2 small packages of blackberries. About 6 kiwi I usually do. About 6 kiwi usually sliced up. And then usually a package and 1/3 of strawberries. You know, one of those regular strawberry containers. So what I do is I get them all in the bowls and I get them ready. And here's where the key is. Then I also have my lemons. I also always have a little spoon handy right by my side in case when I squeeze the lemon, a little pit gets in there. And then I'll take the pit out with the spoon. Also, when I transfer it to the Tupperware, usually the pits will go to the bottom and then I'll be able to get the pits out as well. So people ask me that question all the time about the pits when you squeeze the fresh lemon juice. And I've just cut some lemons, and what I did is when I see you'll see little holes here, because when I see the pits on the top, I dig them out with the knife after I cut them. So these are all organic lemons. I try to always use organic, you don't have to, but fresh lemons. Another question I always get is, can I use the lemon juice, that's in a little plastic container? I don't like, using any kind of that bottled lemon juice because they also put preservatives in there. And I think because I've used that in the past, it doesn't really preserve it as well as fresh cut lemons. I think it's because of those chemicals that are in there. Some of them are 100% pure lemon juice, but for some reason, even the ones that say 100% pure lemon juice, it's not the same as using fresh. from my experience, that's just it. So what I do then is I line up my, let me get a towel here too. I like to wipe my hands off in between if I get my hands dirty during doing this. So I like to have my spoon and my towel. And then what I do is I just start taking a handful of each fruit. This is the important part, because why I'm doing this is I'm taking a handful, I have a big mixing bowl, handful of the mandarin orange, a handful of the blueberries, and then with the blackberries, I try to pour it into my hand, because if you grab it, you're gonna bruise the blackberries. And I get a handful of my blackberries. Kind of do the same thing with the strawberries, just trying to get a handful. I try not to dig my hand into those. And then I do about 4 or 5 of the kiwi. And once I get all 5 fruits in the bowl, and that's one layer, I squirt lemon juice all over the top. Now, the reason why I do this and I layer it like this is because if you put all this fruit into the bowl and then mixed it up with the lemon juice, you're not getting lemon juice all over it, number one, and then you're bruising the fruit, okay? So in the interest of time, because this will take about 3 or 4 minutes, you don't want to watch me do this. Again, I just take a handful, do it one more time, and that's it, and then I'll turn the camera off and I'll show you the end result. You want to do the orange, a handful of the orange. I'm seeing a couple of stems here on the blueberries, want to get those out. Then I pour a handful of the blueberries in, handful of the blackberries I pour in, the strawberries, I always do the kiwi last, I don't know why, but that's what I do. And then I'm probably doing this like 5 or 6 times with the handfuls until I fill up this whole bowl. And I'm gonna bring some over to my mom tonight. We're actually doing pickup tonight. She didn't want me to cook, and I want to support a local restaurateur who's my neighbor. So we're doing pickup tonight of some deli sandwiches. And then I just squirt another fresh lemon juice all on top. And look how beautiful this is. That is like a work of art. It's absolutely gorgeous. And all the colors, and what I do with this fruit salad is I used to make this every week. And I feel like every morning when I have my breakfast or an afternoon snack with a bowl, I feel like I'm in a 5-star resort eating my gorgeous fruit salad. And it stays beautiful. Maybe by the 5th day, it starts looking a little funky, but it still looks absolutely gorgeous. You can go back and look at some of my posts and see when I prepped fruit last week, and I had it up until Friday. I think I ate Friday night, I ate the last bit of fruit. I didn't post it, but maybe one of my meals you can see. And you'll see this all week long, how beautiful it looks. So I'm gonna turn the camera off, and I'm gonna fill up the bowl by doing all the handfuls. And then I'm gonna show you how I transfer them into the Tupperware containers, plastic containers, before I put them in the refrigerator, because that's an important bit, I think, is one of the keys to the success of my fruit looking so beautiful. So I'll be right back when I'm done filling this all up. Okay guys, so I'm done with, it was like 6 rounds of a handful of each fruit. I'm squirting fresh lemon juice all over it to fill up this bowl, and look how gorgeous this is. Again, this is great if you're, even for yourself all week long, but especially if you're entertaining. I had 2 brunches recently, one for Mother's Day and one for my mom and some of her friends, and they were blown away by the fresh fruit and how gorgeous it was, and they asked me my secret. Another question I keep asking is, does the lemon juice give it a funky taste? It doesn't. If anything, I think it enhances the flavor, and most people can't even tell that there is lemon juice. The only time I've tasted the lemon juice is when it was a bad lemon. There was something wrong with the lemon, so make sure it's not brown when you cut it, and it looks well. It looks good. So one of the other important things about it is how you transfer it from the bowl into the Tupperware. So a lot of my friends, when I talked to them about how they were doing it and why it didn't come, they were squirting the lemon juice and they were mixing it with a spoon, and then it all got all damaged and mushy, and within a couple of hours in the refrigerator, the bruised fruit with all that stuff from the fruit just made it all like yucky within a day, right? Mine stays fresh for 5 days. So I found one of the keys is the transferring it. I don't mix it up, that's why I do the handful each, and the key is to pick it up very gently and very carefully and place it into the Tupperware. So what I do is I take my hands, and yes, for the hygiene police, I've washed my hands several times, okay? And I just go in and I very gently pick up the fruit and I put it in here, I baby it. And then I do it again, and just very gently, very, very gently, because you don't want to, especially like the blackberries and the strawberries will bleed. You just want to gently make your fingers in here and just get it, and then just, okay, so now this one's more than full. Then I'm gonna put one together for my mom. I always bring my mother. I always talk about food as love, and there's no better way I can express my love for my mom to bring her healthy food, and I always feel good when I open her refrigerator and it's filled with food, and I haven't brought her anything in like 4 or 5 days, and I went over yesterday and her refrigerator was empty, and it was really upsetting me. So I can't wait to go today with a whole bunch of food. I'm gonna be prepping some salmon in a minute. I've got vegetables, I've got Brussels sprouts. I'm probably gonna make some lentils, and I'm gonna bring all that stuff over to my mom's. Again, if this is the expression of love, and this is the kind of comfort food that makes me happy now, is the healthy food. So again, I'm gonna pick it up very gingerly, pick it in, put it in, and this really is the key. And if I get anything on my hands, I immediately wipe my hands off. It's from a blackberry, I got a couple of little things. And then again, I mean, look how gorgeous this is. I just love my fruit salad, and it's just blackberries, blueberries, mandarin orange, and kiwi. So anyway, you now have my secret to make a beautiful fruit salad. I'll put the tops on this. I actually have a lot. I actually can fill up one more container. I have these 2 containers, and I probably got another small one there. So I'm gonna have this one, another one for myself. This one's going to my mom, and I'm gonna have fruit all week long, and I just love having this beautiful fruit just to throw on a plate. And I think, not today, because I have another chat I already want to talk about today, but tomorrow I may talk about the joy of prepping and why, yeah, I spend a lot of time on the weekend prepping, but that's why I can throw meals together real quickly during the week. And I'm working like 10 hours a day with work in my office. I don't have time to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. But prepping the fruit, I can scramble some eggs, I can make a frittata, and real quickly, and then throw this fruit around, and it looks like I spent an hour in the kitchen and I spent 10 minutes. So anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video on how to prep this fruit. If you haven't tried it, you really should, because it's really not only delicious, really nutritious, but it's also beautiful.